Imagine a national project so huge, so ambitious, that it's being compared to the race to build the atomic bomb. Well, that's not science fiction. It's happening right now. It's an all-out effort to harness the power of AI to solve humanity's biggest problems, and it's called the Genesis mission. So let's dive in and break this whole thing down.
And look, to really get the scale of this, you don't have to take my word for it. Just read the government's own description. They're calling it a historic national effort, with the same urgency and ambition as the Manhattan Project. Yeah, when a government starts throwing around that name, you know this is a big, big deal.
And the name they've given this whole thing? The Genesis mission. And trust me, that name was chosen for a reason. It's meant to signal a new Genesis, a totally new beginning for how America tackles scientific discovery, all of it powered by artificial intelligence.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, why are they calling it a new Manhattan Project? Then we'll get into what the Genesis mission actually is. We'll take a peek under the hood at the AI platform that's going to drive everything, check out their incredibly fast timeline, and see who's on the team. And finally, we'll get to the most exciting part, the huge, world-changing problems they're setting out to solve.
All right, let's get right into it. First things first, why this and why now? What's the big rush to launch something on this massive scale?
Well, it really boils down to one simple and kind of intense thing, a global race for dominance in AI. The thinking from the White House is that the next decade of technological leadership is literally up for grabs. This mission is designed to make sure America isn't just competing in that race, it's leading it.
Okay, so we know the why. It's a high-stakes race. But what's the actual what? What is the Genesis mission, really? What's the game plan?
So, at its heart, the idea is actually pretty straightforward, but it is incredibly powerful. It's a national effort to point AI at our biggest challenges, everything from climate change to curing diseases. But there's a deeper goal here. It's not just about finding answers, it's about changing how we find them, to speed up discovery so that things that used to take decades might now take just a few years or maybe even months.
And you can see just how broad the intended impact is. This isn't just some abstract science project in a lab. We're talking about real-world goals, stuff that directly impacts national security, our energy grid, and even the economy. It's a massive strategic investment that's designed to pay off in just about every corner of American life.
All right, so that's the grand vision. But how do you actually do all that? Well, the success of this entire mission really hinges on one central piece of technology. So let's take a look under the hood at the engine that's going to power this whole thing.
And this is it. It's called the American Science and Security Platform. You can think of it as the mission's central nervous system. It's a massive, integrated system built to do two really revolutionary things. First, train absolutely enormous AI models specifically for scientific problems. And second, use those models to automate huge parts of the research process itself.
So, let's break down what's actually in this thing. It all starts with the foundation, right? Sheer, raw computing power. We're talking supercomputers. But the real magic happens in the layers built on top of that. Think domain-specific foundation models. These aren't just generic chatbots. These are AIs trained from the ground up on biology or material science or chemistry. The platform then gives these models secure access to decades of priceless government research data. That's the fuel they need to learn. And here's the crazy part. It connects all this brainpower to real-world tools, like robotic labs that can run experiments 24/7 completely on their own. It's a full-on, end-to-end system for discovery.
Okay, a plan this big needs a timeline to match, right? And believe me, the Genesis mission is moving at an absolutely breakneck pace. Let's look at what they've promised to deliver in just the first year.
And when I say breakneck, I mean it. Just look at this timeline. They're giving themselves just 60 days to nail down the huge national challenges they're going to tackle, 90 days to line up the computing power. And the real kicker, in just 270 days, that's less than 9 months, they have to show a working version of the platform. This isn't some 10-year research project. This is an all-out sprint from day one.
All right, so you've got the tech, you've got the crazy timeline, but none of that matters without the right people. So who's actually running the show here?
So leadership is split between two key roles. You've got the Secretary of Energy. Think of them as the chief implementer. Their department is the one actually building and running this massive AI platform. Then overseeing the whole thing, you've got the President's science advisor. Their job is to be the coordinator, the one making sure every single government agency is rowing in the same direction.
But, and this is really important, this is not just a government-only project.
The whole point is to create a kind of national dream team. They're pulling in the top minds from our national labs, the speed and innovation of private companies, and the foundational research from our best universities. The goal is to get basically all of America's heaviest hitters focused on the same problems.
Okay, so we've got the plan, we've got the super platform, and we've got the dream team, which brings us to the biggest question of all. What's the ultimate goal? What does success actually look like here?
So right out of the gate, the mission is laser-focused on 6 critical areas. And we're not talking small stuff here. We're talking about completely reinventing manufacturing, designing life-saving drugs with AI-powered biotech, finding new materials we've never even imagined. And then you've got the heavy hitters, cracking the code on nuclear fusion for clean energy, building quantum computers, and designing the next generation of semiconductors that will power everything. I mean, these aren't just research topics. These are the absolute cornerstones of our future economy and security.
So, you bring all of that together, this incredible fusion of AI, massive resources, and the best minds in the country, and you have the Genesis mission ready to launch. It really leaves us with just one huge, exciting question. Of all the massive challenges we face, which one is AI going to solve first?